In this video, we're going to take a look at graphing a point on a coordinate plane. And for this video, we're just going to focus on just this first quadrant. Quadrant 1 is what it's called. And as you get better at graphing, you'll move on to quadrant 2, 3, and 4. But for this video, we're just going to focus on quadrant 1, this top right part of a coordinate plane. And so I've got a point in there, and a question on a test or a quiz or something might read, what is the ordered pair of this point? What is the ordered pair of this point? To find the ordered pair, you need to know a couple of things. First off, you need to know how many places over on a coordinate plane you go to get to that point. The second thing you need to know is how many places up do you go to get to that place on a coordinate plane. Another way we might say that is you need to know the x value and the y value of your point on the coordinate plane. And we can say x and y because on a coordinate plane you have two axes. You have the x-axis, which is the horizontal line in the middle of your graph, the horizontal line. And you have the y-axis, which is the vertical line on your coordinate plane. Again, we have the x and we have the y. Right? The x is the horizontal, the y is the vertical, or up and down. And when you're asked to give an ordered pair, all an ordered pair is the x and y value of a point on a graph. And we write ordered pairs in parentheses, x, comma, y. So let's take a look at this point here. Again, I asked, what is the ordered pair of this point on the graph? What is the ordered pair of this point? To find the ordered pair, you always start right in the middle of your coordinate plane. It's called the origin of the graph. This part right in the middle where your x-axis and your y-axis intersect. And this is the point 0, 0. So this is where you always start. The next thing you do is you count how many places over on the x-axis you go to get to your point. And in this case, it's this point right here. So we're going to start at 0, and we're just going to count how many places over we go to get here. So we go over, this is 0, 1, 2 places. We go over 2 places. The next thing we need is we need our y. We need to know how many places up we go to get to this. So we've gone over 2, and now we're going to count how many places up we go. We go up 1, 2, 3. So we went over 2, and then we went up 3. Now remember, an ordered pair is written x, comma, y. We just found out that our x value for this, how many places over we go, is 2. We found out our y is 3. So our ordered pair then, remember it's in parentheses, it's going to be parentheses, 2, because we went over 2 places, comma, 3, because we went up 3 places. 2, comma, 3. Let's look at another example. Let's say I want to know the ordered pair of this point here. Again, we'll start at our origin. We always start at our origin. The first thing we do is we find our x. We find out how far over we go to get to this point. So here's 0. We go over 1, 2, 3, 4. So we moved over 4 places. We then know that our x is 4. The next thing we do is we see how many places up we go. So we've moved over 4. Now we go up 1, 2. Over 4, up 2. Our ordered pair, remember, x value first, it's x, comma, y. So it's 4, we moved over 4, comma, our y. We moved up 2. 4, comma, 2. So this one was 2, comma, 3 because we moved over 2, up 3. This one was 4, comma, 2 because we moved over 4, up 2. Let's take a look at one more example, and this is going to be a little bit different. Let's say I wanted to plot this point. This point. Same thing, we'll start with our origin. This is 0. We go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We go over 7 places. So that first number in our ordered pair is going to be 7. 7, comma, something. Now the next thing we do is we count how many places up on this coordinate plane we go to get here. Well, let's see. If I go up one place, I'm already past it. Here's my point. If I just move up one, I've moved past it. Well, if it's not 1, and we're only dealing on quadrant 1, if it's not 1, then you know it has to be 0. This point is what we call on the x-axis. If you look at our graph, here's our y-axis, here's our x-axis. This point is actually directly on the x, our horizontal line, axis. So when we graph this, when we write the ordered pair, it actually looks a little bit different. So we start with 0. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So our x value, our first coordinate, is 7. The second point, our y value, this is on the x-axis, so we actually don't go up at all. So it's just 0, 7, comma, 0. It's important you see the difference between this point and this point, and that point as well. This point is on the yellow line, which in this graph represents my x-axis. These 2 points are not. These are actually in quadrant 1. So to review, on a coordinate plane, we have a y-axis, which is our vertical axis. We have an x-axis, which is our horizontal axis. In the middle of our graph is our origin. To plot a point on a coordinate plane, you start with your origin, and the first thing you do is you count how many places over you go to get to a point. The second thing you do, once you've counted how many places over you go, is you count how many places up you go, or down if we deal with other quadrants. Once you have those 2 numbers, you just write them out. In parentheses, you write your x value, which is how many places over you went. You put a comma, and then you put your y value, which is how many places up or down you went. And that is coordinate plane, quadrant 1.